Hey guys, Gabriel here from Serial Killers. We got Brian Horton, from game director from Rise of the Tomb Raider, and yeah, we're gonna talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider. So we already played the game at E3 and now again. Um, Maybe let's talk about the main difference to the first Tomb Raider, what's new or what's your focus on the new game?
Well, our focus was try to expand on what we had done on the reboot. We had introduced the idea of these large hub spaces that the player could retraverse through. They're now 3 times larger than what we did before. So that's given us a lot of opportunities to not only make them larger, but make them more fulfilling for the player to do with additional challenge tombs, crypts, challenge missions that you can take on. Allies are going to be able to give you challenges to perform, and we wanted to make sure the player had a lot of content that they can do at their own pace.
Okay. You already mentioned playing time is like 30 to 40 hours. Is it like open world or the first part, or?
Our structure is very similar to the last game, where you had sections of what were more linear content that would sort of funnel into these large exploration spaces, and then from there would be different missions that you'll perform at different times. So you'll have what we called it as a bubble and tube style of gameplay. So I would say the structure is very similar, but we've been able to incorporate within that structure more choice-based gameplay, which makes it feel more open.
Okay. Could you talk about the locations? We already saw Siberia, how many locations, or what are you planning with the game?
Yeah, so we have 2 primary playable spaces. Our prologue takes place in Syria, and then the bulk of the game takes place in Siberia. There's going to be multiple areas that you'll be able to explore in Siberia that have a different aesthetic. There's the Soviet installation that we've seen from the gameplay, of course the Arctic mountain itself, and also these Byzantine ruins and the geothermal valley, which we showed a little bit at Gamescom. So the area itself is going to be extremely vast and very varied in its style.
Okay. What's the main theme of the game? In the last part it was more of survival. Is it again survival, or more tombs, or?
I would say it is still a survival game. These secrets are hidden in the most far-reaching and hostile locations on Earth, because otherwise they would be found by now. So Lara Croft has to go to these remote locations, and there will be moments where she has to really struggle to survive. But ultimately, we wanted to see a more proactive Lara Croft. She's now has this obsession. She's seen and glimpsed the secret world, the supernatural world, and she's following her father's research to find the lost city of Kitesh. So you're going to see a change in her character, an evolution, and an emphasis on some of discovery in ancient spaces, which feels more traditionally Tomb Raider.
Okay, so you're building up on the first part with the character development.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. The hope always is to see this is a game that is showing Lara's progression to becoming who she's meant to be, which is the Tomb Raider. So characterization and storytelling is very important to us, but also systems and gameplay are equally important, as we're seeing Lara learn the player himself or herself will learn more with her.
Okay, so let's talk about the customization or the main parts with the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
What's new in Rise of the Tomb Raider in part of creating, crafting stuff?
So we've looked at the entire ecosystem and the economy of crafting, and we've expanded upon it. So in the last game, you hunted a deer once, and that was pretty much it. You could do more hunting, but now the deer is part of our upgrade path. So the pelts from the deer or the antlers, those can be used in various ways to craft not only upgrades for your weapons, but also ammunition. So that's very new. You can craft, we have new ammunition like the poison arrow, for instance, which is crafted from mushrooms, cloth, and arrows themselves, and that creates a really cool area of effect, a weapon. We've also increased our stealth systems. So our AI and Lara's abilities have increased. So Lara can now climb trees, she can swim underwater and hide in bushes, and then she can create distractions and use these distractions to manipulate the AI. So no longer can you just shoot an arrow and create a distraction. You can throw things, and the enemy will investigate those distractions, but then they'll also start to alert the other guards around them that, hey, something's wrong, there's someone in the forest, we should start searching. So you're seeing a lot more advanced tactics in which the player has some choice on how they want to go about combat, whether it's stealth or going straight action if they would like.
Okay. Maybe as final question, what's your personal favorite part of the new Tomb Raider?
Yeah, I would say my favorite part is that we're offering the players larger spaces with more choice to really control the pace and even the upgrades and how you want to upgrade Lara. You're going to have possibly a completely different experience than I might have in your first time through. And then for those that are playing the game together as friends, they'll be able to discuss that and have these different moments that because there's so much to do now, there's so much of this extra content, it creates a dynamic where the game has a little bit of a life of its own, and that's what I'm probably most excited about.
Okay, thanks for the interview.
Yeah,
it's great.
I hope you get a chance to play some more while you're here.
Yeah.
All right, cheers. Thanks.
Thanks.